Okay, I did a video on Friday and I was showing you the box, and I think if you followed some of the rules that I outlined, I think it was like 9 out of 10, like a 90% win rate, like 24 and a half points. Today I want to show you everything would have been a winner following those same rules, and this is just, again, 1,000 tick chart. You're not familiar with the box. Let me tell you how it works. The box, first of all, you can turn off the coloring. You can change the coloring of the candles, whatever you want to do. It's all customizable. But I really simplified things here. All I did is I took the box populates like this, and when the candle closes above the box price, you get a buy signal. If it closes below it, you get a sell signal. So this trade is close to this CP at 71. You would have needed 73. So there's enough room here that you could do this. If it doesn't get there, it would come back to break even. But there's a bit of room, and I also figured it's an 8-point target up there, so kind of a big target for this setting on the box. So I am not saying, so this one I didn't count over here because you would have had to have bought way up here and it just wouldn't have worked. So this is a no entry, but this was also like in the middle of the night or late at night, depending on where you live. And so you may not have even taken this, but I wanted to illustrate how this worked out. So here's this one that went 8 points. That's $400 per one contract. Of course, if you were trading a 10 lot, that's $4,000. This one happened at the open, so you can see this was about a minute and a half after the open, or a minute or so after the open. It came down to the top of this box, which was actually the first entry. So we got the buy signal. That was the first entry, and the target was up there, and that's 8.25 points. And there's no CP there. You're actually above the CP here, so no problem. You can take that one. That one works out for 8.25 points. If you're doing that on a 2 lot, that's a really nice $825 trade. If you're doing it on 1 lot, it's a $412 trade. Still really nice either way. No trade here because you wouldn't get filled. Now, if you held this is just a 1-to-1 risk to reward. That's all I was calculating here. But obviously, if you held this, you had a runner, and it could have gone quite a bit further here. Anyway, this was a no entry unless you just bought the market when this happened, which I'm not figuring that. So no entry, no trade here. You didn't get that one. This trade, you got the buy signal finally here. You're in here, no follow through. Even if you held through all of this, still no follow through. It didn't get to the target. The target was up here. So after all of this, I mean, you got this signal at 8:27 when you could have gotten in, and it came back at, I mean, you want to remember the box is about trading momentum. This was 22 minutes. There's no momentum if the price hasn't gone anywhere in 22 minutes. This isn't a good trade anymore. Look at the ones that work. Look how quickly they get out of here. It comes down, boom, it's out of there. All right, so look at this. And this happens a lot with the box, where sometimes you do just have to jump in here because it's on the best trades, it's just going to rip. It's not going to come back. So this takes forever. This is 22 minutes. This is not valid, so you would not take this. We don't have this coded in yet because it doesn't communicate with prediction points, but that's a CP right there, and there's just no room to get, there's only a point. So let me show you the difference between this one, where there's only a point to here, and this one, which I'm saying you still could take a trade like this. That's 71, and your entry down here is 65. So this can go 6 points before it even starts to run into any trouble here. If it starts stalling out here, you can close it out. It's still worth taking the trade. Over here, it's 1 point. You just have no room. So this is not a trade that would fit inside of our rules. So I'm proposing you would break even on this one because it was here for 22 minutes. Broke down here into the box, came back up, touched here to the tick, came here, came back here to the tick. This trade, you would have had 40, or you would have had 50, let's see. You'd had 40 minutes from this time to over here to get this trade off at break even. Something like that, about 40 minutes. It's a long time for a trade that's supposed to be a momentum trade. So this is not working. Get out of it, okay? Finally, it does come back. There's your buy signal. It does come here. We'll pick you up in front of that. Just a smaller 3.25 points. That's 162.50 per contract. And then at the end of the day, there was finally the short, which worked out nice. This is 42.03. And this was only a 3-point target down to 42, so just a scalp there. Obviously, this ended up dropping over 10 points. But if you have more size on, you can obviously hold some. But I'm just talking about if you just looked at it 1-to-1. Now, if you had on, obviously, if you have more size, it makes it a lot easier. So if you had on a 2-lot, you take the first one off at a 1-to-1 risk to reward, it makes the trade free. And if you can get 2 or 3 or 4, and notice where it went back down to, it comes back down to the CP. So you could be short here targeting down to the CP. It's a 10-point target. You got the first one off. Your risk is now covered. Okay. That was it. If you just did those trades that I outlined, pretty simple. Nothing fancy here. I'm not complicating anything. Really simple, easy rules. That's $1,125 per contract. I'm not getting fancy. I'm not trying to show you a whole bunch of extra things you can start adding in. I'm just showing you if you just followed the really basic signals and then didn't trade it if it was right by a CP and there was no room to get the profit target. So very last thing that I'll show you here is that when this box populated, I thought, as this one was here, I thought, oh, this could be a great, I wasn't necessarily wanting to go short here, but this is a little bit advanced and I wouldn't recommend it unless you're good at, it comes down to risk management at the end of the day. And I mean risk management like trade management. How good are you at managing the trade? And if you look right here, when this came down right here, I thought, well, we could basically give this, if it closed below the CP, this is 94.25. If it closed below the CP, I could probably do this trade with a point or two of risk. And my target, if it was just back up to here, 97.50, I could get like a 3-point target and have a point or two of risk at the most, 2 points. So it's even better than a 1-to-1 risk to reward, which is all I'm trying to do to start off with scalping. And I'm not saying you're not going to eventually get these trades that are like a 2-to-1 or 3-to-1 or 4-to-1 or 5-to-1. I mean, you're going to see some trades where it's a 10-to-1. But that's not right now if you're just trying to get consistently profitable. This had all winners, 1 break-even trade. So 1, 2, no trade. Break even, no trade, not valid. And then again, 3, 4. So a total of 5 trades. 1 of those trades broke even. 4 of them made money. No losers. And $1,125 per contract on a 1-lot. On a 2-lot, it's over $2,200 of profit. Friday was $24.50. Today's $22.50. So again, is this going to always work like this? I have no idea. It's been working pretty well for many years. I don't know if it'll keep working like this. Obviously, you have losing days, you have losing weeks, you have losing months, but overall what we're looking for here is something that, it comes back to the trader's skill about managing the trade when a trade like this is on, and or managing a trade like this. And just one last thing that I'll share with you is I can't remember who it was, but he worked for one of these famous traders that everybody would know who they were, and he said that at the beginning of the day they would go into the office and they would there was like a $500 bill, and they would say, okay, look, you can win this $500 bill, and what you're going to do is you're going to draw a name of whatever, a stock or futures or commodities market or whatever it was. You're going to draw a name out of the hat and a position. So I'll just, for easy purposes, they would have somebody drew, and all the traders, all the senior traders were going to do this so each day. So they draw, let's say the S&P 500, and that's the one that they're trading, and then they would draw the position, which would be long or short, and it's at the open. So at the open, they're long or short. And they're allowed one trade, meaning they can click the button one time. So they're in the S&P 500, and let's say today they're short at the open. It's just purely coincidental or pure luck. That's it. You're in the market, you're long or you're short. That's it. And your job is to figure out how to manage that. And sometimes the best thing you can do is just close the position right at the open. So on a day like today, you would have wanted to just close it right at the open. If you're short, just close it right at the open. Don't lose any money. And then at the end of the day, they would go back and they would see who made the most money. And some days you made the most money by not losing any money. And somebody might have been short and held it, and it didn't work out. Right? So it's really, the whole idea of it was to teach the principles behind managing a trade. And sometimes the best thing you do is just close the position. So last thing I'll tell you, I had one of my mentors who taught me, said he was teaching his son how to trade, and he's a stock trader. And he put on a position in Amazon, and his son was 18 at the time and knew enough about how the market worked, and he'd been teaching him enough at this point, and he put on 1,000 shares in Amazon. And I don't know if he was long or short or whatever, but 1,000 shares in Amazon. That's a fairly big position, especially for Amazon. And his son starts freaking out, like, oh my gosh, you're in 1,000 shares of Amazon. And he says, yeah, just stop worrying about that and then just trade what there is to trade. Like, look at the chart and do what I've taught you, and then decide if you should either keep the trade, go flat, or reverse it. And those are really the only things to do. Either keep it, get flat, or reverse it. And that was, if you think about it, we really, as traders, we tend to overcomplicate things a lot. What I love about the box and the simplicity of it, it gives you a direction, an entry, and then if you're using this method of one-to-one, it gives you a target. When you mix it with prediction points, really fantastic. I really love it as a tool for that. So again, we're running a special on this week. You can get, if you buy the box for life, you get the auto box, which will put the trades on for you automatically. And you'll also get 3 months of prediction points for free. So we're giving you like thousands of dollars free just for buying the box for life. So if that's not enough, I'm going to do a training. I'll lead the training. We're going to talk about some of the advanced ways that you can trade the box. And so if you're a current box subscriber, be there. If you don't own the box yet and you're going to buy it, be there. And if you are just brand new to the box, then be there. So the details, we'll put a link here below the video. You can go get yourself registered. It'll be on Wednesday. Again, all the details will be in the link. So just be there, go get yourself registered. We'll go over what I consider to be the most advanced. We'll look at different scenarios. We'll look over different time frames. We can look at different markets, different tick intervals. We can look at volume charts. So we'll just start, how do you incorporate this into your trading? And I love it as a tool to just, you have whatever you're doing, and then you can use the box and you can scalp these moves. And in these kinds of volatile markets, it's really just fantastic. So go get registered for the training. I'll see you there.